I'm supposed to give a talk here, please. One of the bad habits of those who really don't understand what life is about is to laugh at others' misfortune, right? The young man who tried to set up an additional mic here knocked over the water, and this was a big joke for everybody. The way that a Muslim responds to that is not a big laugh, but to say, Inna lillahi wa inna ilayhi raji'un, or something like that. How unfortunate, you know, rather than laugh at the misfortune of others. Anyway, also me taking an early shower with my thobe on, really didn't need that, but anyway. The topic, as I said, was about two types of students. One student who we call a student who happens to be a Muslim, and the other one we call a student who happens to be, a Muslim who happens to be a student, right? Two. Let me say that again. A student who happens to be a Muslim and a Muslim who happens to be a student. Two different species. What do I mean by that? The student who happens to be a Muslim could have been a Christian or a Hindu or a Buddhist or an atheist. That's the student. And he does what students normally do. What do students normally do? They cheat in their exams. They copy other people's papers. Anything to get the marks. That is the typical student. Because education has been focused on academic excellence. Who gets the top marks gets the top recognition. So, whatever will get you the top marks, if it means looking at other people's papers during exams, carrying crib sheets in with you, writing on your arm, getting somebody to, you have a little earpiece and they will tell you outside the exam room what the answers are, whatever, SMSing, anything which will get you those answers so you can get the good marks. That is the student who happens to be a Muslim. He's not honest. He's not fair. He only sees, or she only sees, dollar signs or rupee signs on their education. That is the whole focus. It's about making money. However, the Muslim who happens to be a student is one who could have been something else. He could have been an engineer, he could have been a doctor, he could have been a cab driver, he could have been anything. But he or she is a Muslim first. Their Islam comes first. So, such a student has moral principles that they live by. They will not cheat. They will not be dishonest. They will do their homework on time. They will do all that is required of them in whatever position they are in, either as students or as professionals, whatever field they're in, they will do it to the best of their ability. Because Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam had said, "Inna Allah ikum idha amila amalan an yutqina." That Allah loves from each and every one of you that whatever you do to the best of your ability. You do it to the best of your ability. If you do that, this is what is pleasing to Allah. And this is what the essence of worship is. A Muslim student knows that he or she is actually worshipping Allah when they study. From Islamic perspective, studying, the educational process, is a process by which we worship God. This is a way of worship. Why? Because Prophet Muhammad ﷺ had said, "Talabul ilmi farida ala kulli Muslim." Seeking knowledge is a religious obligation on every Muslim. So one who seeks knowledge, one who becomes a student, then he or she is worshipping Allah in their search for knowledge. So worship in Islam is not just going to the mosque or fasting or giving zakah. This is an aspect of worship. But the true concept of worship in Islam is to seek to obey God and to please God in every aspect of our lives. And that's why Allah said, قُلْ إِنَّ صَلَاتِي وَنُسُكِي وَمَحْيَايَ وَمَمَاتِي لِلَّهِ رَبِّ الْعَالَمِينَ. Say to all of us, we should say, indeed our prayers, our sacrifices, our living and our dying is for Allah, the Lord of all the worlds. A life dedicated to God. A life in which we try to achieve the ideals of the society, to be prominent figures in whatever field we choose to be in, but at the same time being conscious of our responsibilities to society. Because Prophet Muhammad ﷺ had said, خَيْرُ النَّاسِ أَنْفَعُهُمْ لِلنَّاسِ. The best human beings are those most beneficial to other human beings. So we seek knowledge, we study, we graduate, we further our studies for the purpose of benefiting our societies. We benefit ourselves on one hand, but we should also consider the benefit that we have to give to society. Because we are in a position to study now because society has made it possible for us. Without society doing it, we would not be in that position. There are many people, young people in your age groups, who in other parts of the world have no opportunity for education. So this is a blessing. It is a blessing from God, from Allah, that you have this opportunity that many other young people your own age do not have. And it's very important. Part of our faith in God is to recognize the blessings of God in our lives and to treasure them, to use them in a way which is pleasing to Him. So, as students, there are different qualities that each and every one of us should have as Muslim students. And what we should keep in mind is that Prophet Muhammad, may God's peace and blessings be upon him, he was known even before Islam by a title which distinguished him among the people within which he grew up. That title was, anybody know what the title was? Al-Amin, yes. Al-Amin, the trustworthy, the honest. That this is a basic characteristic which all Muslims should have. The trustworthy, the honest. And for students, this is very critical, because this determines what type of person you will be in the future. If you cannot be trustworthy and honest now, likely you will leave this world a dishonest and untrustworthy person. One who will be hated by God. one who will have no future in the life to come. So trustworthiness and honesty, this is a primary characteristic which each and every student should work for.